Have you ever caught yourself wondering, what can I still do for my health now that I'm in my 60s or even 70s? Maybe you've seen a friend go through cancer treatment and thought, I don't want that to be me. Or maybe you've just had that moment standing in front of the fridge, feeling like your choices matter more now than ever. If that's you, you're not alone. And here's something powerful. Your plate may hold more healing power than you think. We're not talking about fads, pills, or expensive superfoods flown in from halfway across the world. No, we're talking about real food. Simple, familiar foods you can find at your local market foods that have been quietly protecting your body all along. Today, I want to walk with you through 7 of these humble little heroes. Not just what they are, but why they matter, and how you can enjoy them every day without feeling like you're giving up taste or joy. You see, after 60, our bodies change. Our immune systems slow down a bit. Our cells don't repair themselves quite as quickly. And if we've lived long enough, chances are we've been exposed to things that raise our risk of cancer, maybe stress, maybe past habits, maybe even just plain aging. But here's the encouraging truth. Cancer isn't always about genetics. In fact, what you eat day in and day out can play a powerful role in lowering your risk. Let's begin with one of the most underestimated foods sitting quietly in your kitchen, broccoli. Yes, that little green tree you might have pushed around your plate as a child. Turns out, broccoli and its cousins like cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts are loaded with compounds called glucosinolates. When you chew them, these compounds break down into sulforaphane, a natural chemical that helps your body neutralize potential carcinogens. Think of it like this. Sulforaphane is your body's cleanup crew, sweeping away the mess before it has a chance to settle in. But here's the kicker: boiling your broccoli until it's mushy? Not the best move. A light steam is enough. Or better yet, try tossing it with olive oil and roasting it in the oven until the edges are golden. Add a sprinkle of garlic and lemon, and suddenly, broccoli doesn't feel like medicine, it feels like comfort food. Speaking of olive oil, that leads me to another quiet warrior in the cancer-fighting world: extra virgin olive oil. It's more than just a salad dressing base, it's a powerhouse of antioxidants. One in particular, called oleocanthal, has been shown in some studies to actually break down cancer cells while leaving healthy cells untouched. Imagine that: an oil with the wisdom to know which cells to keep and which ones to kick out. If you've been raised on vegetable oil or butter, switching to olive oil might seem like a small shift. But small shifts are where the magic happens. Drizzle it on your cooked veggies, stir it into soup, or even use it as a dip for warm whole grain bread. You're not just adding flavor, you're adding years to your life. Now, let's sweeten the deal literally. Berries are next. Whether it's blueberries, strawberries, or raspberries, these vibrant little gems are packed with antioxidants like anthocyanins and ellagic acid, both of which have been linked to cancer prevention, especially in slowing the growth of certain tumors. And the best part? They taste like dessert. You don't have to buy them fresh every day. Frozen berries work just as well, sometimes even better, because they're picked and frozen at peak ripeness. Toss them into your morning oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or just eat them as a snack. Every handful is a step toward healing. But let's not stop there. Because while berries are wonderful, there's a fruit that's often forgotten, and it has ancient roots in healing: pomegranates. Deep red, jewel-like seeds that burst with flavor and anti-inflammatory benefits. Research has shown that pomegranate juice can help slow the spread of prostate and breast cancer cells. Just half a cup a day may be enough to provide benefits. And for those who don't want to deal with the mess of peeling, a good quality 100% pomegranate juice will do just fine. Just be sure it's not packed with added sugar. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I've eaten all kinds of things in my life, how much can I really reverse? And to that, I say, it's never too late. The body is astonishing. Even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond, it's still rebuilding, still listening to what you feed it, still fighting for you. Every bite you take is a message to your cells. I want to heal. I want to thrive. And maybe that message needs to include something just a little spicy like turmeric. This golden yellow spice isn't just for curry. It contains curcumin, a natural compound with powerful anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer properties. Some scientists believe it helps block the pathways that tumors use to grow and spread. The catch? It doesn't absorb well on its own. But pair it with black pepper just a pinch and the absorption skyrockets. A warm mug of golden milk made with turmeric, almond milk, and a touch of honey could be your new evening ritual. Or sprinkle turmeric into scrambled eggs, soups, or even on roasted sweet potatoes. Don't think of it as adding spice. Think of it as adding protection. So, there you have it: broccoli, olive oil, berries, pomegranates, and turmeric. 5 foods that are as powerful as they are delicious. And this is just the beginning. Because once we start feeding our bodies with intention, everything changes: not just our cancer risk, but our energy, our mood, our sleep, and even the way we connect with those around us. When we feel good, we live better. And food is one of the most personal, accessible ways to give ourselves that gift. Let's keep going, because there are still a couple more foods that belong on your plate, and they may surprise you. They may surprise you because they're so ordinary. You've probably walked past them 100 times without giving them much thought. But when it comes to nourishing your body and lowering your cancer risk, one of the most protective foods is hiding in plain sight on your grocery list: beans. Yes, simple, everyday beans. Black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, lentils. They're more than just a cheap way to fill a plate. These little guys are packed with fiber, and fiber is like a gentle broom for your digestive system. It sweeps away toxins, balances your blood sugar, and feeds the good bacteria in your gut. And here's what's incredible: a healthy gut can mean a stronger immune system and a lower risk of certain cancers, especially colorectal cancer, which becomes a bigger concern as we get older. The magic of beans isn't just in the fiber. They also contain a range of compounds that may directly fight cancer cells, like phytates and flavonoids. These plant-based protectors help keep cell growth in check. It's like having a neighborhood watch patrolling your body, keeping things from going out of control. And you don't need to eat like a rabbit to get the benefits. A warm bowl of lentil soup on a rainy evening, a chickpea salad with fresh lemon and herbs, or even a hearty chili made with black beans. These are meals that comfort and protect at the same time. Now, you might be wondering, if beans help my gut, what about foods that protect other parts of my body like my liver or blood? That's where garlic comes in. Yes, garlic. The same ingredient that's been making dishes smell amazing for thousands of years also happens to be one of nature's most powerful cancer-fighting allies. Garlic contains a compound called allicin, and while it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, it's very real and very effective. Allicin has been shown to slow or stop the growth of cancer cells in the lab. But garlic doesn't just fight cancer directly, it also reduces inflammation, improves circulation, and boosts your body's natural detox process. And here's a little tip to make garlic even more powerful. Once you chop or crush it, let it sit for about 10 minutes before cooking. That's when the allicin activates. Then you can sauté it with vegetables, stir it into soups, or rub it onto toast with a bit of olive oil for a snack that's both delicious and healing. You see, so much of what protects us isn't complicated or exotic. It's not something you need to order online or mix into a fancy smoothie. It's already in your kitchen or just one grocery trip away. And as we bring together these foods: broccoli, berries, turmeric, beans, garlic, we start to see a pattern. Nature gave us what we need. We just have to make it a habit. But let me tell you something important. None of this means you have to be perfect. It's not about never eating cake again or never having a burger. Life is meant to be enjoyed. What does matter is making these protective foods a regular part of your life. Because consistency, even more than intensity, is what creates change. That means it's better to eat beans 3 times a week than try to eat perfectly for one weekend and give up on Monday. It's like watering a garden. One big bucket won't do much if you never water it. Again, but a little bit every day. That's what keeps things growing, and that's exactly how these foods work inside your body. And now, there's one more food I want to talk to you about in this part of our conversation. It's not a vegetable, or a spice, or even a fruit. It's something that brings all the others together, something you might not even think of as a cancer-fighting tool. But it is. And that's green tea. Green tea has been used in traditional medicine for centuries, especially in parts of Asia where cancer rates are historically lower. It contains catechins, a group of antioxidants that help prevent cell damage and reduce the formation of free radicals, those unstable molecules that can lead to cancer if left unchecked. Just 1 or 2 cups a day may be enough to start seeing benefits. And don't worry, you don't have to give up your morning coffee. Green tea can be a gentle afternoon ritual, something calming to sip after lunch or in the early evening while reading or watching the sunset from your porch. You might find it's not just your body that benefits, but your mind too. There's something peaceful about that warm mug in your hands, the quiet moment it creates. And health isn't only about the physical, it's about the moments that bring joy, calm, and connection into your life. All of this, every bite of garlic, every forkful of beans, every sip of green tea is part of a larger story. A story where you are still in the driver's seat. A story where age doesn't mean decline, but wisdom. And with that wisdom, you get to choose what you feed your body, how you care for it, how you love it. Because let me remind you, at 60, 70, even 80, your body still wants to protect you. It still wants to heal. It still wants to fight for you. These foods, they're your allies. You're not alone in this journey. So as you head into your kitchen later today, maybe you'll look at that head of broccoli differently. Maybe you'll add a sprinkle of turmeric to your dinner. Or maybe you'll just take a moment to enjoy your tea a little more slowly, knowing that it's doing more than warming your hands, it's helping your cells. Quietly and consistently, every single day. And as we keep going, there's one more food that deserves our attention. A food that nourishes not just your body, but your blood, your heart, and your spirit. Let's talk about that next. It's amazing, isn't it? How much nature has given us. And now, let's complete this journey with one final food that often gets overlooked, yet it's as vibrant and life-giving as a walk in the morning sun. That food is tomatoes. Yes, humble tomatoes, whether they're fresh from the garden, simmered into a sauce, or sliced into a sandwich, carry something incredibly powerful inside them, lycopene. Lycopene is a natural compound that gives tomatoes their rich red color. But more importantly, it's been linked to a reduced risk of several types of cancer, especially prostate cancer, which is particularly relevant for men over 60. Now, here's something many people don't know. Lycopene becomes even more effective when tomatoes are cooked. That's right. A warm bowl of tomato soup, a slow-simmered pasta sauce, or even a spoonful of salsa, these aren't just comfort foods. They're protective. They're nourishing your body in ways you can't even see, quietly strengthening your cells and reducing oxidative stress. And if you're someone who already enjoys tomatoes regularly, you're probably doing more for your long-term health than you realize. Add a little olive oil into the mix, and suddenly you've got a cancer-fighting combo working on multiple levels: lycopene from the tomato, antioxidants from the oil. Simple, affordable, powerful. Now, let's take a breath together and just reflect for a moment. You've made it this far through the conversation, and that means you care. You're not just here to pass the time, you're here because you want to live better, longer, stronger. Maybe not just for yourself, but for someone you love. A partner, a grandchild, a friend, or maybe just because you know you still have so much to offer this world. And that, my friend, is the heart of everything we've been talking about. You see, preventing cancer isn't about fear. It's about empowerment. It's not about avoiding life, it's about leaning into it. with knowledge, with joy, with intention. Every food we've talked about, from broccoli to berries, turmeric to tomatoes, is part of a bigger picture. A picture where you are still growing, still choosing, still writing your own story. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to do this perfectly. You just have to begin. Maybe that means adding a handful of berries to your breakfast. Maybe it's switching to olive oil for your salad dressing. Maybe you decide to make a batch of lentil stew this weekend, or try green tea instead of your usual afternoon soda. That's enough. That's how it starts. Because here's what no one tells you loud enough. You're still allowed to invest in yourself. Still allowed to care about your health. Still allowed to change, improve, and evolve even now. Especially now. You've been through decades of life. You've raised families, worked hard, loved deeply, and learned 1,000 lessons. And now is the time to take all that wisdom and turn it inward. Not selfishly but lovingly. Because the better you feel, the more fully you can show up for the people and moments that matter most. And the truth is, this isn't about cancer alone. When you eat foods that reduce cancer risk, you're also eating to support your heart, your memory, your joints, your energy levels. Everything is connected. Your body is not made up of separate parts. It's one beautiful, interconnected system that thrives when you treat it with care. Maybe you've already faced some health challenges. Maybe you've been told things like, that's just how aging is, or there's not much you can do now. But don't believe for 1 second that you're powerless. Because you're not. Change doesn't happen in some distant, dramatic way. It happens every time you choose what to eat for lunch. Every time you walk past the cookie jar and reach for an apple instead. Every time you take 5 extra minutes to steam some broccoli or stir a little turmeric into your soup. That's where transformation lives. In the smallest choices that whisper, I care about my future. And that's what I hope you take away from this. Not guilt, not overwhelm, just hope. Hope and a gentle nudge that says, yes, you can. Now, before we wrap up, let's take a moment to bring it all together. 7 simple foods. 7 allies for your health. Broccoli, rich in sulforaphane, to protect your cells. Olive oil, calming inflammation and shielding your body. Berries, tiny but mighty in antioxidants. Pomegranates, sweet and ancient, feeding your strength. Turmeric, the golden spice with silent power. Beans, humble and hearty, cleaning from the inside out. And tomatoes, red and robust, guarding your most vital systems. They're not hard to find. They're not hard to prepare. But they might just be the difference between fear and freedom in your health journey. So here's my invitation to you. Choose one. Just one food from this list that you can start with today, not next week, not when the fridge is empty. Today. And once you've made it a habit, add another. Let it build slowly, like layers of protection, like roots growing deeper, like strength returning home. Because you deserve to feel vibrant. You deserve peace of mind. And you deserve to know that it's not too late to take control of your health, not by chasing perfection, but by embracing small, meaningful steps forward. If this video gave you something to think about, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these foods are already a part of your life? And which one are you excited to try next? Let's talk about it. Let's learn from each other. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to give it a like. It helps more people like you find the content they need. Subscribe to the channel if you want more simple, science-backed advice made especially for this stage of life. You're not done growing. You're just getting started in a new, wiser chapter. Here's to living fully, to feeling stronger, to feeding your body what it truly deserves. And here's to you, for showing up, for choosing yourself, and for never forgetting that at any age, the best is still within reach. And maybe, as you sit here listening, a quiet voice inside is saying, I want to do this, but will it really matter at my age? Let me speak directly to that voice, because it matters more than you know. Every time you choose a healing food, you're not just reducing cancer risk. You're telling your body, I'm still in this game. That message echoes into your bones, your immune system, your energy, your sleep. It's not just food, it's a signal. A signal that says, I still believe in my future. And I know, sometimes the future can feel uncertain. Maybe you've lost someone you love to illness. Maybe you've had your own scare. Maybe there are days when your energy feels too low to cook a proper meal, or when loneliness sneaks in at the grocery store because no one's shopping with you anymore. That's okay. These feelings are real. But so is your strength. So is your ability to take one small step. So is your power to shape what comes next. That's why this conversation isn't only about food. It's about reclaiming something. Reclaiming ownership over your health. Reclaiming the belief that you still matter. Reclaiming joy in the simple. Rituals: chopping garlic, brewing tea, choosing a fresh tomato, and slicing it just the way you like. There's something sacred in the act of feeding yourself well. It says, I'm worth this. And you are. And you don't have to do it alone. If cooking feels overwhelming, invite someone in. Maybe a neighbor, a grandchild, a friend from church or the community center. Make a new tradition: soup night every Sunday, or a berry walk at the market on Thursdays. Let food be more than fuel. Let it be connection. One woman I spoke with recently, her name is Helen. She's 73, told me she started keeping a little food and feeling journal. Nothing fancy, just a small notebook where she jots down what she ate that day and how she felt afterward. After a few weeks, she noticed something. When she had beans and greens, she slept better. When she skipped vegetables for 2 days, her joints were stiffer. That awareness? That's wisdom. That's the kind of intuition we all have when we take time to listen. And if you're someone who's been set in your ways for a while, someone who's had the same breakfast for the last 20 years, maybe now is the time to try something new. Not because what you've been doing is bad, but because your body is always changing and it might need something different now. Something gentler. Something more protective. Remember, your taste buds evolve. Your body evolves. And your habits can evolve too. So maybe breakfast tomorrow looks like oatmeal topped with blueberries and a few walnuts. Maybe dinner includes roasted cauliflower with turmeric and a side of lentils. Maybe you start sipping green tea while listening to your favorite old songs instead of just watching the news. The key is to link new habits with things you already enjoy. That way, it doesn't feel like a punishment, it feels like a gift. Because this isn't about fear. It's about thriving. It's about creating a rhythm to your days that supports healing. And it's about never settling for the idea that just because you're over 60, your health no longer deserves your attention. It does. You do. So here's what I hope stays with you long after this video ends. You don't have to change everything overnight. You don't need a fancy plan or an expensive detox. You just need to begin right where you are with what you have. That tomato in your fridge? That's a start. That can of beans in your pantry? That's a step forward. That dusty box of green tea on your shelf? Time to brew it and enjoy every sip like a slow, healing hug. And if you're feeling unsure where to begin, just ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today that future me will thank me for? That's it. That's your compass. Because future you isn't far away. Future you is waiting. Just around the corner. With more energy, more clarity, and more peace of mind thanks to the small choices you make today. So be gentle with yourself. Be proud of yourself. And know that every choice toward nourishment is a choice toward life. And as we come to the end of this conversation, I just want to say, thank you. Thank you for showing up for yourself. For being open. For believing that it's never too late to care for your health. If this video touched you, I invite you to share your story below. What foods have helped you feel your best? What's one new thing you're excited to try? This week, I read every comment, and I know others will be inspired by your journey too. And if you want more support, more tips, more warm conversations like this, subscribe to the channel. We're building a little family here. A family that believes aging can be beautiful, that health can be simple, and that you are never, ever past the point of positive change. So here's to you. To healing. To nourishment. to the joy of life even in its quieter, softer seasons. Here's to choosing food that helps you live, not just longer but better. You're not done growing. And the best, truly, is still to come.